Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Adversity. I'm Leon.
And I'm Jackson Shelley.
Let's get down to business.
Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Adversity. We would just like to first of all apologize for taking so long to record this episode. We've been very busy with our school schedules as well as FFA. As you all may know, FFA week is coming up, and so that's a big time for all of us in the Spencer County FFA chapter. Also, we are hosting invitationals for the entire state of Kentucky at Spencer County High School. So I'll be competing there, and so will Lee. I'm competing in the senior parliamentary procedure contest, as well as hopefully running for a state officer candidate spot for Kentucky FFA. And Lee is going to be doing prepared public, senior parley, and he's going to be hopefully working on his officer candidate speech for his chapter. So with that, we'd just like to apologize and thank you all for sticking out and waiting for this next episode. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Hopefully y'all do. But so Lee, with that, why don't you tell everyone what we're going to be discussing today?
So, since the 2018 Farm Bill has just been passed just last month, we thought it would be a very good idea to discuss and hopefully dispel some negative connotations and misconceptions that industrial hemp may have, as well as discuss the potential for it, not just on a national level scale, but more locally in Kentucky. So, Jackson, how about we just start by explaining what exactly hemp is?
Hemp is a multi-use crop and mostly used in the United States and most of the southern region, as it's grown more naturally here, just like tobacco. It just needs a humid climate that lets it grow naturally with the rain coming down and watering it. It takes minimal care to take care of, and it has many uses, including paper, biofuels, and fiber for rope and clothes. So just to branch out on some of those things, with paper, it's got such a huge use for it, as 1 acre of hemp production can grow as many as 2 to 4 trees, 2 to 4 acres of trees, paper's worth. So basically with that, we'd be able to grow so much more paper in just such a little amount of time, considering hemp takes 120 days from seed to harvest, whereas a tree takes 25 years. So
Big difference.
A huge difference. So just thinking about the negative connotations that forestry has and just deforestation of animals' habitats.
Deforestation, that's a problem, not just here in America, but like all over the world.
Yeah, definitely. It can definitely help just decrease the amount of paper used from trees, considering it's much more durable products for paper. It contains so much more lignin, so making it just a stronger fiber and harder to rip. And I think it's just overall best thing it can do for America right now.
Definitely. And as we mentioned, the misconceptions. The biggest misconception that I feel is facing hemp today is the relation between hemp and marijuana. Considering they both have THC, which is the tetrahydrocannabinol, and since people think you can get high off hemp, the biggest difference between marijuana and hemp is actually THC is the mind-altering drug that is in marijuana that makes you high, and people think that you can get high off hemp, which is just not true. Considering hemp has 0.3% or less levels of THC in it, while marijuana has 5 up to 35%, which is a huge difference, honestly.
Yeah, as we've researched, it takes so much more hemp to have any kind of mind-altering state to it. So just with a tiny amount of marijuana, you can get high and have these mind-altering effects, whereas it would probably take an entire field of hemp as you lit it up to get even the tiniest bit of psychedelic effects. So I don't believe that anyone has anything to worry about.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's a big obstacle that hemp's facing. Not just that, but the belief that people can be hiding marijuana plants within hemp fields, which is the cause for the long permit and application process for growing industrial hemp.
Yeah, but as we've researched recently, if you plant marijuana near hemp, bees will actually cross-pollinate that plant and give it those non-THC effects, those non-psychedelic effects.
Effectively turning marijuana into hemp by lowering the THC levels and getting rid of those mind-altering effects and possibilities.
Yeah, so it's basically impossible to hide marijuana within hemp, as it takes away its purpose for marijuana to be grown. But mainly this scare and this belief that's bad came from Richard Nixon. As he declared his war on drugs, people started to believe that marijuana and hemp had the same relation because he outlawed hemp in 1970, and from that point on, people have never thought of hemp.
There's a very negative social stigma behind the use of hemp, not just as fibers and paper, as you mentioned, but in oils, in breathing treatments.
Yeah, actually, they're creating a new biodiesel fuel. So with the oil used off hemp, it can hopefully replace the fossil fuels we've been drilling for and just have a positive impact on our ecosystem as well as the environment. So I think that's one of the most exciting things, that we won't have to drill for fossil fuels anymore and hurt our earth. So, because we want to preserve this as long as we're on it and just hopefully make it the best place we can.
Yeah, for sure. And like we mentioned before, the 2018 Farm Bill was just passed, and the Commissioner of Agriculture here in Kentucky was pretty instrumental in helping show the potential of hemp here in Kentucky, pushing for it, and hopefully within the next couple of years, I see a definite possibility of getting the state laws released, and hopefully letting more people grow industrial hemp, and hopefully boost the potential of the ag commodity.
Yeah, our commissioner Ryan Quarles, he's definitely for it, and he's been fighting for it for a while. He knows the positive benefits, and he knows it will help Kentucky on an economic level. Even though people still not getting past that belief can kind of hurt people buying the products, he's trying to show an outreach and just tell everyone that it's not as bad as everyone thinks. It's really not. So if you have a chance, talk to someone about it. If someone grows hemp, tell them to spread the word. Tell everyone to apply for that permit and just grow hemp. It's really not hard. It takes minimal care. You put it out in the field and you let it grow just like tobacco.
Mm-hmm. Since Kentucky's climate is humid and moist, it's perfect for growing hemp.
I really think that as we see this decline in the amount of tobacco being used, as we see this push for maybe the smoking is not the best thing for you anymore, I think hemp could be Kentucky's next big commodity. As tobacco has
for sure
been it for so many years.
And I feel like another obstacle facing is definitely the pricing issue. Yeah. Considering there's not that many, industrial hemp farmers on a national level, the prices for hemp fibers, hemp papers, hemp anything are above traditional products. And I believe that, once people start to see the potential for hemp and more people are growing it, hopefully alleviate some of that permit application process. I can definitely see it being cost efficient and definitely full of potential for the Kentucky economy as well as the national level.
Yeah, so it's kind of expensive right now to grow it and kind of expensive for the seeds. So as we see an increase in it and the amount of products that can be used for it, the amount of people buying it, hopefully the price will decrease and it'll be easier for everyone to grow. But if you have a chance, tell everyone to watch our video, subscribe to our channel.
Like and share on Facebook, Instagram.
Tell someone a fun fact that you learned about hemp. Make it known that it's a great agricultural commodity and it should be passed for a bill within the United States. So with that, we'll be pushing ourselves for this agricultural commodity, and we hope that you do too. So with that, thank you guys for watching.
And hopefully we'll be able to get episodes out on a regular basis.
Definitely.
I'd like to apologize again for the month in between episodes. Hopefully, get one out every week or two for sure.
Get more on a consistent schedule for that. And if you all have any ideas at all for things we should talk about, make sure you guys email or comment on our videos. Mm-hmm. Just tell us what those are, because we'll definitely do some research, look at them.
It's wide open for sure. And another big thing, we were thinking about trying audio only, like a traditional podcast, and whatever you guys think about that. Tell us if you prefer that idea or prefer a more video-based, presentation of what we're talking about.
Yeah. So just any ideas you guys have for us, any comments, concerns, just
let us know.
Yeah, we're always open to hear your concerns and questions. Okay, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
You think that was long?
No, that wasn't long.